Welcome to the Fantasy Thinker. I'm Jared Quartermanch, and today we're going to be doing Reading the Prose number 22. And today we'll be talking about Spear by Nicola Griffith. And I'm going to be doing a paragraph that's very early on, so there'll be no spoilers here. It's like page 5. Um, and I've only read up to like page 12. So I, um, I'm reading this paragraph because I found it fascinating because I felt like it gave us a bunch of information that we can glean out of it in a unique and interesting prose style. So I'll put it up here and let's read. The bowl is not gold, it is not silver, nor even beaten bronze. It is enamel on black iron that never dulls and never dents, though sometimes the iron shimmers with light reflected from elsewhere. Even direct from the hearth it will not burn the hand that holds it, and any who drink from it are healed. Or so Ellen tells the girl. The girl herself cannot tell because she drinks and eats from the bowl every day. But every day she grows taller and taller, stronger and stronger. Her hair with the same heavy wave as her mother's, but paler, brass where her mother's is bronze, her eyes sea gray with a hint of green. With her fingers she traces the bowl's wondrous twining beasts of inlaid bronze, their raised wings and bright glass eyes. She touches the cold, enameled escutcheons where great hooks hold the bowl when it hangs, and pushes with her palm the 4 small iron stumps on the base on which it stands by the hearth. She smooths the sharp-edged points of the mounted knights' spears, the clean lines of the swords they wield in endless battle. Now, like I said, I found this paragraph fascinating. Uh, one is because of the constant contrast that's built within the paragraph and within the sentence structure of the paragraph. And I love that constant contrast because it's given us this back and forth feel of a cross between something, and that something is the difference between the girl and her mother, and the difference between the girl and what we suspect to be everyone else in this story. What is it that makes the girl special? And I think that these contrasts are a bunch of metaphors for what makes this girl special. Now realize I'm just guessing here that based upon the information I'm given. I don't know if this is actually going to happen in the story. I hope it does. I could be wrong here, but this is what I'm gleaming out of it. And so, and the contrasts are there, whether or not it leads to further things in the story, or if it doesn't. But I have a feeling that this is some excellent foreshadowing, and this is some great use of metaphor, and just a great piece of writing. The when the because right off the bat we are told what the bowl is not. It's not this. It's not that. It's not even that. It's this, but never does that. Never does that. Right? And also has this thing it does from elsewhere. Well, what's that? I mean, that. So all this, it has already in the first sentence. It has this like mystical connotation, and so it when it comes out of the hearth, it doesn't do this, and any from drink from it are healed, or so she's told. And right there, you're like, oh, okay, so it's just a thing, just a bowl. But then it contradicts. It says the girl cannot tell because she's been eating from this every day. So the girl, instead of saying the girl is growing tall and strong, like any girl would who eats a good meal every day, she's tall and taller, strong and stronger. She has these heavy wave of hair, but paler. So there's all these buts and this repetition of words that go beyond what normal people would have for the description. And it's a repetitive description to give us information that the girl is a little more tall and taller, a little more. And, um, she's like her mother, but this instead. And then a little further description with her eyes that hint of the sea. And I suspect there's something that goes along with that. This is an Arthurian story after all. Of course, woman in water is a thing in Arthur stories. So we get that little hint, and then when and there's a lot of metal description in here, and of course, metal is of course used as a thing, for a lot of tools and a lot of things, but a lot of weapons. And so when she's tracing the etchings is something that's done to metal to either eat away at metal, usually to create something or form something. And um and of course she's smoothing out the sharp etch points um of spears and swords. And the spears are used with mounted knights. Of course, there's a big clue, what's going on here. But also the clean lines of swords that they're and it's wielded in endless battle. So there's this contradiction of once again of words. The swords and the spears are associated with something clean and created and smooth, and so you have all this imagery, and it's quite uh, heraldic, and it's quite heroic in nature. This imagery, and it's but yet there's still something cold about it, and there's still something where you have to, it's it all sits on a stump, on a base in the hearth. And so you have, all these, like I said, contrasting words mixing with each other to create this mythical, almost magical imagery that that's giving you this information that the story is going to be about all these things, and the story is going to have contrast within it, and it's going to have um, you know things that you're going to have to accept as contrasting as the story's being told. And so it makes and all that contrast, all this stuff, and all the description of the bowl is in itself a description of the girl, even though we get a couple of descriptions directly related to the girl. But um, the girl herself is all this stuff, but not this stuff. And so as I read through this book, I'm gonna be looking for that. I'm gonna be looking for what this girl is, but what she's not, and what makes her different from anybody else in the story and stuff like that, and what makes her special. So I thought it was just a great paragraph that really drove home that point of contrast, and it was beautifully descriptive. And I loved how she used words to make it that way. So I hope you enjoyed that little paragraph, and I hope you enjoyed that this episode of Reading the Prose. And if you do, please like and subscribe, and be good to each other. Thank you.